Well, it looks like Walmart got caught red-handed using Chinese slave labor again. I'm going to get on to the story and just going to highlight what the translation of the note was that was found in a woman's purse. But do remember, Walmart is the one that banned the sale of Confederate flags because, according to them, it represents slavery, which it doesn't. It actually, I know the deal what's going on. The Confederacy, even though in the South they had slavery, which I disagree with, of course, but what I'm saying, I disagree with Walmart too. I disagree with a lot of the stuff the big corporations and big government are doing, which are slave masters also, and what they're doing with prisoners in the United States, which we have the prison population capital of the world, making slave-made labor goods for the military-industrial complex, like Deuce gear, 782 gear for the military. Well, Walmart, they got caught red-handed using Chinese slave labor again. Okay, so here's the desperate note that was found in a woman's purse. She didn't realize it was there for many months, and then she saw it. She had it translated. She had it translated by a few people. So I'll give you not the gist of the story, but what the note said. Inmates at Yingshan prison in Guangxi, whatever, China, are working 14 hours a day with no breakfast break, rest at noon, continue working overtime until 12 midnight, and whoever doesn't finish their work will be beaten. Their meals are without oil and salt, so they're malnutrition. Every month, the boss passes out inmate 2,000 yuan. Any additional dishes will be finished by the police. If the inmates are sick and needs medicine, the cost will be deducted from the salary. Prison in China is unlike prison in the United States, which prison in the United States is a big industry racket too. And he says horse, cow, goat, pig, dog, meaning prisoners are treated like, the worst animals, okay? They're treated inhumanely. So, Walmart is a leading U.S. supplier of goods manufactured in communist China. To what? To help their bottom line. That's really what it is. Here's Walmart. Yeah, right. Walmart, you're so freaking facetious. And I'm going to go over something else. This picture might look familiar to you. This is actually Dylann Roof, not Dylann Roof, which I think is the same person. And I'm gonna go down in this tangent because some people did originally, but we're gonna keep this issue alive. Whether it's not new news now, it's to me there's more than a suspicion here. I know that the Tavistock Institute in the UK is in with mind control, and there's such a thing as what they call them is Delta assassins, programmed assassins. Dylann Roof had many black friends on Facebook and in school. They couldn't believe he did this thing where he went into a church and killed a bunch of people. And I think I think the real target was Senator Clem Pickney, or Pickney, I think his name was, the senator from South Carolina that wanted to put body cams on the police, which I don't think the state powers like that, the powers that be. So here's Dylann Roof Mitchum, supposedly died in 2011. Exact same ears, exact same nose, same mouth, same chin, same eyes, same hair color, almost the same name. It's Dylann with one N and Roof, R-O-F-F, instead of Roof. And it uses his first name and middle name and not the last name, Mitchum. So here's, let me get on with this here. This is Dylann Roof. Dylann Roof. And I said about this picture, these were released from the Southern Poverty Law Center. One thing I got to say about this again, Walmart, eBay, Google Stores, Sears and Roebuck, and I don't know, Target maybe? I'm not sure who else, some of the big places. They all started banning the sale of the Confederate flag after this guy did this almost like made-to-order textbook shooting of innocent black people in a church while they were praying. The most virulent, racist KKK person wouldn't do this, but this guy just did it. And here's a guy that had a bunch of people on Facebook and in school that were friends of his that were black, which doesn't make sense there too. when he's holding this flag, I swear to God, it does not look like he's holding a flag in his. I know the flag's there in the picture, but the way his hand position is, it looks like he's holding a shot glass or something, and he looks like he's wasted. We all know he's a drunk. I went over this picture before, but the hand, you would not hold a flag like that in your hand. It looks like it was photoshopped in. And do remember, these pictures were released by the Southern Poverty Law Center, which is heavily funded by George Soros. We look in the mirror, like again, if you look in the background in the mirror there's a little mirror, and you hardly notice there's a mirror back there and there's a flag. Well, you look in the mirror, blown up, there's no flagpole, but it's a white flagpole. You can see the white on the stars, the outline of the X, no flagpole. Which means, to me, maybe it doesn't prove it, but I think what really proves it more is, you notice how this flag is really drooped like this, and he's holding it in his hand, and you look at some of the other pictures, this flag isn't even as drooped. It's another thing. I swear to God, something isn't right with this picture. It's not that I'm willing it to be this way, but the whole story stinks from every which way. It's like it was orchestrated. I also know that there were 4 Marines killed in cold blood in Tennessee in a recruiting station by some guy that was yelling Allah Akbar, and they never moved to ban anything like that. And there was Omar Mateen, who killed, I don't know, almost 50 people in a Pulse nightclub in Orlando, and they didn't try to ban anything related to what he believed in either. But all the major corporations in unison started banning the flag and blah blah blah, which I already know. See, the slave issue was actually a non-issue in a war between the states. It was the export tariff on cotton, which was the main issue. There was a lot of issues, but the slave issue really was a non-issue. It was a military strategy by Abe Lincoln to try to create a slave revolt in the South. That's why he freed the slaves only in the revolting states, not in Delaware, Missouri, Kentucky, Maryland, or even West Virginia. No. He didn't do that. He's like, we're only going to do it in the states that revolted because we want to have a slave revolt, which never happened. Because, I don't know, nobody knew where the hell to go anyway, so nobody did nothing, really. But Walmart today is selling Chinese-made slave goods, and look what flag they're hanging up on the wall. The American flag. So what does that mean? The American flag stands for slavery? I guess you could say that. In a lot of ways, anything stands for slavery. Corporations stand for slavery. Prison industries in the United States is slavery. It's a new slavery. The war on drugs is a big farce. It's like they bring in loads of drugs into the inner cities where people of darker skin are, and then they take all their money from them because they get them hooked on drugs, and then if they catch them with drugs, they say they committed a crime, and they throw them in prison, and they use them as slave labor. This is the new system, right? Yeah, right. This is great. And then you got Walmart selling stuff to people who have, are buying stuff in the store and the goods are made with Chinese slave labor to keep the price down. And you know what they're put in prison for in China? For saying the wrong thing, right? So, what can I tell you, man? And it was, like I said, there was another time, I don't know if I could find it here. In October 2012, a woman in Oregon found a similar note for help inside a box of Halloween decorations purchased at a local Kmart. Kmart, Walmart, same crap. Yeah, probably Walmart, you're going to go the same way, too. The letter asked that somebody notify the World Human Rights Organization. Thousands of people here are under the persecution of the Chinese Communist Party government will thank and remember you. And honestly, I don't know. I'll tell you the truth, man. It's like the only stuff I'm buying from China is are knives, because I can figure I could defend myself with them. Other than that, I'm pretty much not buying a lot of stuff from China, man. Anyway, I thank you for if you were a slave-made laborer making that knife I bought. I thank you, because I'm going to use that knife to defend freedom. Just remember that. You armed a guy that's fighting for freedom with your slave labor. But I'm not sure if that was made with slave labor. But I'm staying the hell away from Walmart. Um, Now, as far as like Dylann Roof, I think this guy is actually a mind control. It was like a made to order event. I'm going to tell you, that's what I think it was. And as people say, you accuse me, you think it's impossible somebody could do this? No, I don't think it's something impossible. But it's not just that this guy did this, it's like the way everything was reacted around it. In other words, if he was, well, say for instance he had a Walmart flag in his hand. Just imagine he had a Walmart flag in his hand. He was a fan of Walmart. I mean, I don't know if you want to just put that out there. Well, they wouldn't be banning they wouldn't be banning that. They wouldn't be saying Walmart, it's your fault. They wouldn't be doing that. Like they didn't really come out, against what Omar Mateen believed in, or that guy that killed those 4 Marines in a recruiting station in Tennessee in cold blood. No, they didn't do that, right? Right? See, that's the part that I'm not buying. And tell you the truth, when I looked at this guy's picture, Dylann Roof, you can look at that nose. Look, and it's like this is 2015, right? That's 2015. Ears, he's got that. His ear. I don't know. Maybe you're not. Like I'm a white guy, so maybe I understand. I mean, as a white guy, I can really recognize the difference in white people. This guy is identical to this guy, Dylann Roof Mitchum. Now remember, this picture was 2011. The Dylann Roof picture is 2015, so he'd be 4 years older. But he's got the exact same eye color, same eye shape, the same mouth, the same chin, the same type of nose where you got this it's like a bubble on the end like that, the same kind of ears, everything. Same hair color. I mean, it's and almost the same name. And this guy supposedly died in the UK. And I'm thinking Tavistock Institute, UK, mind control, Delta programmed mind control assassin. Yeah, maybe. It's a strong possibility. I ain't 100% sure, but anyway, Walmart, if you start selling Confederate flags, I ain't gonna buy one from you anyway because you're screwed up. Because they're probably made with slave labor or some crap. They're from you. So the hell with you, Walmart. And if you're a black person watching this video, don't get pissed off at me because I'm really, every time. Basically, I am really on the side with these black people for a lot because I realize the wealthy whites are playing a game. They always play like they're philanthropists, they're going to do everything for everybody, and yeah, I'm here to help and all this kind of crap. They're not. It's a game. It's always image all the way. I don't like what's going on, what they're doing to black people in this country, and I think probably the solution is for the black people is to... well, it's entrepreneurship, but the problem is you can't be an entrepreneur hardly in this damn country with all the damn rules they got out there with safety regulations, OSHA regulations. You got to have compliance with your I-9s, your W-9s, your 1099 issuances, your federal unemployment tax, your state unemployment tax, your Form 941s. There's so many regs you got to deal with when you're dealing with if you try to open a small business, it's beyond ridiculous. You can't just make shit and sell it like you can back in the old day, But, anyway. You can always make birthday cakes with Confederate flags on them, I don't know. I don't know, whatever. But, there's always money to be made somehow. Usually there is. It's like you just got to get out there and do it. There's not enough hours in a day to do everything you need to do. But Walmart is, here they're the guys that banned the sale of Confederate flags due to the smear campaign against the Confederacy. One of these days too, they're gonna, they're starting. It's not just cultural cleansing. It's more to this than that. They're going to start tearing down George Washington statues, Jefferson Davis, yeah, Thomas Jefferson. They're going to start tearing down the Vietnam War memorial wall because um, communism is good. That'll be the line. If you're talking about the professors in Berkeley University, I mean, it was up to them. They tear down They would get rid of Arlington's National Cemetery. They would get rid of everything. That's what the corporate powers are all about. So they're a load of it. And I just wanted to put this out that Walmart got caught again, with desperate notes from a Chinese prisoner about the evil conditions they're being forced to work under to make money for Walmart. And the cashiers aren't making money because you go into Walmart today, they got these automated cashiers. They want you to use these automated cashiers if you ever go in there and just bleep things. Like I go in there for food, that's what I go in there. I use it as a Walmart food store. I don't buy stuff from these guys, generally speaking, though. I go online and look for independent vendors. And I don't buy from Amazon either, because Amazon's turned into a big load of crap, too. So, and just like all these big vendors, 20 years ago, who the hell ever heard of Amazon? 50 years ago, who ever heard of Walmart? Times change. They're big guys on the block right now. Doesn't mean they're going to be around forever. Sears and Roebuck used to be the big guys on the block. What happened to them? What happened to Kmart? That's what happens. You know what happens? The people rule. You start screwing with the will of the people and you start trying to bullshit the people react. Beware there, big money hungry jackasses trying to freaking export slavery to other countries where you can get away with stuff that you can't get away with over here. And you're doing stuff in this country with the darker skinned people by putting darker skinned people in prison over BS drug offenses so they can make things for the military industrial complex like helmets, flak jackets, uniforms, 782 gear. That's what's going on, man. Walmart. Anyway. And Dylann Roof Mitchum. I swear to God, I think this is the dude that actually, I think this is the guy. I think this is the guy that was actually the programmed, mind-controlled, Delta brainwashed assassin, possibly by the Tavistock Institute. And this guy did come from the UK. He's like a spitting image of Dylann Roof. And like I said, those pictures don't make sense. Even this one where he's crouched down, that first finger is not right. I try to actually make my finger get in that position. The first digit joint on this first finger would have to be extraordinarily long to have your nail position over here like this. It wouldn't work. So I think I don't know what he was holding in his hand, but you can easily make this with a Photoshop. All it is just a white line. That's all there is. That's the picture of him crouched down. And you remember like who released these pictures? The Southern Poverty Law Center. And you notice on this one where he's crouched down, you see how the flag is real draped upon itself like that? And it's like practically horizontal. Look at the one where he's standing up. This flag is at a 45-degree angle. It's not practically horizontal. You would think it would be curled in more, right? Like the other one was, which was practically horizontal. It's not. That's because they had to show it facing to the camera better. And, it's like the flag, you would think it would even be touching his shoulder to your toe, right? This looks like it's drawn right in here, man. This looks like it's drawn right the hell smack in here. It's not. It's like you don't have access to the real stuff. You got what they released by the Southern Poverty Law Center. They're not going to be so stupid as to release. They're going to give you an image of not the real thing. You know what I mean? They're going to give you the image after it's been all doctored up. They're not going to give you the one right from the camera. You know how that works, right? This guy's holding a shot glass. But like I said, if he was holding a Walmart flag, or he was, I don't know, he was holding the flag of Zimbabwe, whatever, some country, something you never heard of, right? I'm just making a name up. They wouldn't care. They wouldn't care. They wouldn't say, whatever it was. If he was holding a Walmart smiley face, they wouldn't ban that. But we already know that Walmart employs and enforces slave labor for their profit. This is not the first time notes have escaped from those prisoners and gotten back to America. Yet people are still going to buy from Walmart. You shouldn't. You shouldn't. I mean, if you have to and the store's right next to you, fine. I'm not saying you got to go out of your way every time, but do go out of your way not to buy from them. I mean, maybe you can't do that every single time, but you can consciously make efforts. Like, I don't buy my cat food from Walmart anymore. I go to Chewy.com. I hope they're not messed up with freaking slave labor, but I don't think so. That's just another purchase that I don't give to Walmart. And that's exactly how it starts. That's how the giants go down, like Sears and Kmart. And all of the giants started at one point small. Right now, I'll probably get off this Confederate issue if it gets corporate and it gets real popular. But right now, it's the underdog. So me being the way I am, I always usually take up for the underdog. I beat a guy in Nazi Germany defending the shit out of the Jews. See, that's what I do. I don't, and when they get real big, I don't necessarily defend them, but when I always take up for the underdog. That's me. And like, if the Confederate issue is like a non-issue and everybody's flying Confederate flags like normal, like it's no big deal, I'm not going to care. I'm going to say, well, whatever. It's more fun being a fighter for something when you're fighting for the underdog. And I realize what's going on. That Confederates weren't fighting for slavery. For crying out loud, man. I had family that were Confederates. They're all privates. And, they had like, the one unit had 91% casualties. Another unit had 33% casualties just in Gettysburg. You think if somebody had a slave that they would go through all that crap because they want to keep their slave? Are you crazy? No way in hell, man. No way in hell. They weren't fighting over that shit. Not in a million years. Actually, once the fighting started, it's like, it takes a life of its own. And, that's what really we got now today. Pretty much every war we get involved with today is over the will of the corporation. Like Walmart, for instance. Walmart's a big advertiser on YouTube, but I don't think they are anymore because I think those are one of the guys that pulled their advertisement. So now we can say, YouTube can say, well, since you pulled your advertisement anyway, we can be critical of you. And that's a feather in the cap for YouTube because we don't need advertisements from places that support slave labor, right? Right, Walmart? Anyway, over and out. Just putting my 2 cents out here. Enjoy. Peace and have a nice day.